Hello, good morning, everybody.
Morning.
Hi, Hans Michael.
Morning, Ayman.
I haven't heard from you for some time. Is that good news or bad news, about our other project?
We are still, we need to submit the full application. So we postponed it from March to July because I had three other grant applications at the same time. So we will start working on this now in the next month.
Okay. I don't know. I don't know who's around and what sort of. I have about a few minutes because I'm going to have to go into another meeting. But any thoughts? I know there was some talk about some respiratory technologies, spirometry, community-based spirometry. I don't know whether they are going to pick it up in this room.
I think we would need to decide first who would love to moderate this session.
I'm not sure how much I will have to add to the discussion, so I can moderate if you like.
This would be great because I can't access this document link. Apple doesn't let me do this MacBook.
I think I can.
And then probably would be good to do just a quick introduction, probably of each of us in the room.
So I'm Ayman Al-Zatani. I'm one of the consultant thoracic surgeons at Southampton Hospital. I have an interest in lung cancer and COPD, lung imaging. So these are areas which over the years I've helped with research related around those areas. We have access to tissue and we have access to imaging. And we've been collaborating with a few groups around the university. So we also have the targeted lung health check, which has started about 1.5 years now, which allows us access to patients in a preclinical cancer state. I'm also keen on COPD as a disease, which shows my other interest, lung volume reduction surgery. So I'm using valves and image-guided interventions. I think that's me.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah. I'm Anto John, and I'm a postdoctoral research fellow. My postdoctoral research on PhD was more on tuberculosis and HIV comorbidity. So I've done some amount of biomarker studies, and I really got interested while doing my PhD in diagnostics. So I branched myself out into diagnostics, and last year I was involved in identifying when there was a shortage of a lot of, let's say, lab equipments or in terms of lab consumables. So I was working at the ORC, Optoelectric Research Center. So we looked around and we found some thin capillaries. So we decided saying that why can't we use these thin capillaries as a means of amplifying the COVID genetic material and use as one of the mechanisms to, if at all, if it's successful, to use a tool to identify other things. So we published that paper, and since then I've moved to a group in the university health sciences group, and we are more focused on skin health. I'm from Peter Hosley's group, so we do a lot of non-invasive mechanisms of identifying biomarkers on the skin surface and check the biophysical properties of skin. So my area of interest is diagnostics.
So my name is Hans Michael Haidt here. I'm a clinician scientist. I'm an associate professor in respiratory medicine. And my interest is mainly research into asthma and difficult to treat asthma. So I have a basic research group where we look at the ADAM33, which is an asthma susceptibility gene, And we discovered that this is involved in the airway remodeling in mouse models and in human models. And we now developed with a collaborator in the States an antisense oligonucleotide to ADAM33, which we have a patent on this, which we're presently trying to develop with an MRC DPFS grant into a new therapeutic option for asthma as the disease-modifying treatment. I'm also involved in 2 clinical trials. One is the WATCH study, which is the Wessex Asthma Severe cohort, which is a prospective study where we take patients from our clinics, difficult to treat asthma clinics, and enroll them and collect data on them. And the second one is the MEP study, maternal environment in pregnancy study, where we collect samples and data from mums with and without asthma during pregnancy who have a cesarean section, and we have done multi-omic analysis on these samples. And one of the things that I am struggling with, or not struggling, or what there's a challenge for us, is these big data sets and the analysis of big data sets for the WATCH study as well as for the MEP study. So there would be a potential for collaborating with probably computer sciences or data management teams.
I would say that for the big data and data management and that sort of stuff, I know a lot of people in ECS have a lot of expertise in that. There was a seminar recently about that. So Niranjan, for example, I think is he's previously expressed that he knows a lot about that stuff. Personally, I don't. So maybe in the main chat, you'd be better off asking about people that can help with big data.
I'll try to join the other breakout time as well. There's one, I think, a big data analysis, or data science.
Yeah, good idea.
What are you doing, Dave?
So I work in the RC as well, like Anto mentioned earlier. So I work on photonic sensors primarily for drug detection and therapeutic drug monitoring. So at the moment, I'm working with Saul Faust and his team monitoring antibiotics in neonates. So using miniaturized sensors to work with really small sample volumes and detecting drugs directly from microliter volumes of whole blood. I've also got some interest in cancer diagnostics as well, as again using direct measurements of whole blood, potentially as an early stage test, like maybe a triage method. So not for superseding something like an MRI scan, but something could be done in the community by a nurse or something like that to kind of direct patients to where they need to be faster.
Okay.
So I am an associate professor in the ECS, and I have had collaboration with the hospital in the respiratory diseases, long before for the lung, and that was a few years ago. And we have been working on data sets which is to do with COPD. So we were, we have developed several techniques, to diagnose to be able to diagnose the illness by automatically analyzing the CT scans that were taken from the patients. I mean, our data set was very small. It is interesting that that Michael is saying that he's got a big data set, because the big data sets. I mean, I know that Michael is working on asthma and not COPD, but we can always collaborate and see what the asthma does to the lung in terms of the pattern of the lung, and see how we can solve it. But we have with the collaboration that we had with the hospital, we published few journal papers. I don't remember, maybe 4 or 5 journal papers, and even more conferences. So it was a fruitful collaboration. But unfortunately, the team in the hospital now, doesn't exist anymore. So we lost the contact. Yeah, so I am interested, can I just clarify, with Michael, is it the work that you are doing, is it to find out, what's the objective? You have got, what kind of images you have? Do you have CT scans like COPD people?
No, we don't have any images. We have multi-omic data, so transcriptomic data, proteomic data sets that we and clinical data sets that we want to analyze. So it's not imaging data that you have.
So one question, if somebody takes a CT scan from an asthma person, would they be able to realize by looking at the texture of the lung or by looking at the appearance of the lung, would they be able to realize if the person is suffering from asthma or not?
To a certain extent, yes. So we do have CT scans from the WATCH study. It's sorry, I forgot to this is from the WATCH study. We have not on all the patients, but we have clinical CT scans there. So with asthma, you mainly get thickening of the airways due to inflammation and you can see this sometimes on the CT scans. With COPD, for example, you get emphysema. You can also get thickening of the airways, but you can get bronchiectasis as well and emphysema. Emphysema is particularly the big one in COPD.
So, all right, okay. So, but it is so what is the objective of, what do you want to achieve with your data? What is it that you are expecting to get?
So we want to see if we can find new biomarkers in, for example, mums with asthma, mums without asthma in early life, in the baby and in the mum. This is from the MEP study. In the WATCH study, where we look at patients with severe asthma, for example, we are interested in the difference between obese and non-obese patients with asthma, and if there are specific biomarkers or clinical markers or imaging markers that might able to distinguish these two and find new treatable traits or new biomarkers that respond to new treatment or could actually help us to justify new other treatments for them.
Yes. The treatment is not obviously our part, but yeah, I am a computer vision person, so I deal with images.
Oh.
If you have got data other than, so what kind of data is it? Is it the data from the interview that you had with the patients?
So the clinical data, yeah, they are from the clinical research forms.
Yes.
And then we took bloods, we took amniotic fluid, we took placenta tissue, and we did transcriptomics, proteomics analysis on them. And we have now all these, or most of the data sets back for analysis. And we're working already together with Rob Ewing at the Biological Sciences, who's also in the Turing, he's one of the Turing research fellows.
Yes.
And where we look at these data now together. So
how many measurements? Because you have got blood measurements from different, perspectives of different things in the blood. So if I want to give, if I ask you to give me the number of the measurements that you have done on that person, whatever it is, how many do you have?
So we have probably about quickly 30,000 data points per patient.
You mean you have got 30,000 measurements from the same person? Yes. Oh, that's a lot. But now your aim is it is an interesting problem. Your aim is to find which one of these parameters, the measurements that you have taken, is important to diagnose, or I don't know what, to find out if the person has asthma or not, or he may get asthma in the future?
Possibly, yeah. For the babies, yes. We would like to find some predictors or biomarkers that might predict them becoming asthmatics in the future.
Yes.
But these are only
That's-
pilot studies, so we have only 24 samples.
That's an interesting deep learning problem. Yeah, I mean, sorry, machine learning problem. And you know, you can, if you have got plenty of, how many patients you have?
So 12 mums without asthma and 12 mums with asthma, for example. In the WATCH study, we have 500, over 500 patients involved. These are patients all with difficult to treat or severe asthma.
So you have got 500 patients with asthma, 500 patients without asthma.
No, in the WATCH study, we only have asthmatics. So they're just all difficult to treat or severe asthmatics. In the MEP study, we have mothers with and without asthma.
Guys, can I think that's a really interesting chat, but I think we should go back to the main room now. So, but it's promising to hear that you've got some common ground for interest.
Yes. It's you know, I can always have a chat with also Niranjan and then come back to you. But I need your email. If you can type in the chat box.
I'll do this just now, and then I think we can go over.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I've just seen in the chat we've got 3 minutes to go, so I was hurrying you prematurely. So I apologise.
That's all right. So as far as I can get the email, then I'm happy. Yeah, I can type my email address as well. SM.
Just while that's happening, Jags, you're on hold, so I don't know if you can hear me, but you haven't said anything so far. So if you've got anything you would like to add or to share, then please go ahead. I guess not. I don't really know what the on hold function is on Teams. I haven't seen it.
I think on hold is somebody else.
Oh, okay.
That's what I think. I'm not sure though.
I'm just talking to a blank wall then. Okay. So
so
Anto, what do you think of these discussions? Do you think there's some room for you to
yes,
to be
doing
involved?
some amount of biomarker studies in HIV and TB comorbidity. So we found a lot of external factors also plays a lot of role. So it's quite interesting what Hans is looking at. I also want to know, he's trying to predict if there is any biomarker in the mums which could lead their offsprings having asthma later stage in life or something. But then I just wanted to ask him one simple question, saying that how much of external factors do you account, or is it only going to be you're looking only at the genetic factors?
So we know that from epidemiological studies that mums with asthma or allergies, the offspring of the children have a higher prevalence of developing asthma themselves.
Okay.
But we still do not understand how this is transferred from the mothers to the babies. So this could be genetically predisposition, but it's just probably also an environmental factor as well. So we think the environment in utero, in the womb, from an asthmatic mother is different to the environment from a non-asthmatic mother. And this could have an effect on the offspring, probably predisposing them to developing asthma as well. So it's the genetic background plus the environmental background that play together.
Okay. But one more, just one more question in terms of, do you also look at the ethnicity also playing a factor in this?
We do, but in Southampton we have the ethnicity data. In Southampton, it's and from the WATCH study we know it's a minority. Which majority is Caucasian ethnicity.
Okay, thank you. That's interesting.
So do we need to return to the main meeting room now?
I guess the minute we hit the leave button, I think we'll all join back.
Yeah. Thanks very much. It was really interesting, and probably should stay in touch.
Okay, thank you.